In this video, I'm looking at Isaiah Likely, the Greg Roman year, his rookie year in the NFL. I'll be checking out his usage in 4 games, not perhaps taking into account full context. I'll read you his numbers from his rookie year under Greg Roman versus his numbers in his second year under Monken. In 2022, in 16 games, Isaiah had 36 receptions for 373 yards on 60 targets. In 2023, in 17 games, he had 30 catches, so 6 fewer catches for 411 yards, a little bit higher in terms of his yardage, on 40 targets. 40 targets as a second-year player versus 60 targets in his rookie year under Roman as coordinator. Now, some of the context I'm not fully providing has to do with personnel. Monken in general had better pieces to work with in the passing game. It is interesting, at least to me, however, to point out how quickly Greg Roman placed Likely on the field, despite the fact that he's a poor blocker, and put him to work. In addition, I should mention that each clip in this video has both he and Mark Andrews on the field at the same time. And for the most part, they're being used together in these pass game concepts. This is the first part of the game, week 2, very early in his rookie campaign. We see Mark and Isaiah side by side, a 3-by-1 look. The Ravens are going to empty the backfield, flare the back out with a really nice call on against this defense. They're going to run a post route with number 1. As a consequence, the quarterback's going to read this corner. Isaiah's going to fold this to the sideline, putting this corner in conflict because of the post. Mark, the inside receiver, runs an out route. We're going to see the safety drive, post snap on that route along with this defender. Lamar's going to hit Isaiah on the sideline. You get to see a little bit of his run after catch very early in his career. It's pretty cool to see how Greg Roman is able to use these 2 pass-catching tight ends in complementary fashion. More often than not, it's a route that Likely is being asked to run to set up Mark to get open. But very early on, you see that Greg Roman recognizes Likely as a weapon. Once again, we have Mark and Isaiah on the field as pass catchers at the same time. Note we also have Pat Ricard in line. Ravens are going to motion and hit Isaiah Likely on the screenplay with Mark out front. Mark at wing, Isaiah out wide. Lamar keeps reading the D end. Mark simulates a block, arrows to the flat with Isaiah out in front blocking. Ravens obviously with a good bit of concern about these 0 blitzes versus Miami in week 2. This is significantly soft coverage on 2nd and 6. You have 3 hitch routes. My sense is Lamar picks aside pre-snap. Roman's going to motion Isaiah Likely over, help with blocking the edge. They end up only sending 4 but simulating 6. The New England stuff is week 3 of his rookie campaign. Isaiah at wing into the boundary. We get a motioning receiver. And post-snap, we get Isaiah with a split zone look, putting the defender in no man's land. Lamar hits him with the shovel. We see Mark come back and block. He does a good job just getting his body in the way, not getting called for any kind of crack. Here we get Mark as the single side receiver. Isaiah has been shifted before the ball snap to be the top or the point on this diamond bunch. Isaiah does a good job sort of slow playing this and then has an explosive plant step to win with the slant inside. Looks like Lamar is reading inside out to that side. Works his way second into Isaiah. Isaiah wins this. Gets separation, the ball gets knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Bengals stuff in this video is week 5. Roman already understands. And again, some of it is based on the fact that the wide receiver room is less than stellar, but he understands already that in empties and third and longs, Isaiah is one of the pass catchers that he wants on the field. Mark runs a crossing route with Isaiah shallow underneath. Ravens in 13 personnel. It's third down. We've got Pat, Mark, Isaiah. These are the kinds of things Ravens fans are clamoring for, wanting to see in 2024. We're getting at least a look into them or a look at them in 2022 under Greg Roman. Isaiah is going to run a post route. His go-to move at this point, at least in 22, are these hesitations either off the line or against off coverage, where he attempts to get the defender leaning and then play against his leverage. I'd like to see him run up on the feet of the defender a little bit more and then make that break straight away. In any case, we get a bit of a mesh between this receiver and Mark. Pat checks at the line, then runs a shallow concept with Duvernay. Almost has the effect of a double mesh. This cross ends up a corner with Isaiah running a post. And Lamar hits Mark for the touchdown. Once again, the Ravens have 3 tight ends on the field, Pat in the slot, and both Isaiah and Mark out wide. Ravens go empty with this receiver motioning, turning Duvernay into the number 3. The Bengals send 6. They're playing cover 3 on the back end with just 2 underneath. Isaiah runs an out route, occupying this defender and opening up this spot in the zone coverage for Duvernay to come open and Lamar to hit him. The Tampa game is week 8. You see the Ravens in 13 personnel again. They got an inline tight end along with Mark and Isaiah. This play, I think, highlights the need for a better connection between Lamar and Isaiah. It's really an outstanding throw and read by the quarterback here. Does look like the ball's behind him, but he is expecting Isaiah, as he turns this route inside, to read the coverage, sit down in this hole, and come back to the football. We can get a better sense of it from this angle. You can see early on that he is unsure of himself, really doesn't seem fully convicted in terms of how he's running these routes. It's still notable to me, at least, that he's on the field very early in this rookie campaign, and that Greg Roman is slowly working him in as a blocker and finding ways to get him on the field and get him out on routes and involved in pass concept, along with Mark and sometimes with another tight end as well. I would like it understood that I'm not favoring one coordinator over the other. I was simply interested to see how it was that Likely was used in year 1 under Roman. I think Monken's results as an offensive coordinator speak for themselves. I'm not one to be so presumptuous to pretend that I can tell these guys how to coordinate an offense or how to use players on the field. Just not going to do that. Again, we see a bunch with Isaiah and with Mark. He's going to be paired with Rashad Bateman in this shallow concept. Pressure gets home in a hurry.